The observation deck of the wandering star hummed with the quiet thrum of ion engines, a lullaby that had become as familiar to Eli as his own heartbeat. He sat cross-legged on the cold metal floor, back against the viewing port, eyes closed. The universe sprawled behind him in all its terrible beauty, nebulae bleeding purple and gold, stars older than memory burning in the void. Raka watched him from the doorway, her tri-lobed ears twitching with curiosity. She was young, even by Venatri standards, her silver fur still soft with youth, unblemished by the scars that marked the warriors of her pack. The human confused her. They all did, but Eli especially. Is he broken? Whispered Kes, Raka's littermate, peering around her shoulder. No, Raka said, though she wasn't entirely sure. He's resting. Kes's snout wrinkled. His eyes are closed. His breathing is slow. That's what the dead do. Raka's tail flicked in annoyance. He's not dead. Watch his chest, they observed in silence. Eli's chest rose and fell with metronomic precision. His hands lay loose on his knees, palms upward, fingers slightly curled. His face, that strange, flat face without fur or proper snout, held an expression that neither cub could name. Why does he look like that? Kes finally asked. Like what? Peaceful. Like he's won a great hunt, but there's no blood, no victory howl. Raka had wondered the same thing. Peace was not an expression her people wore easily. Peace meant vulnerability. Peace meant letting your guard down in a galaxy that didn't forgive weakness. The cubs crept closer, their padded feet silent on the deck plating. They'd seen humans do many inexplicable things in the 6 months since the wandering star had taken on Terran crew. Humans laughed at danger. They named their weapons. They formed bonds with creatures that weren't even of their pack. But this stillness was perhaps the strangest ritual of all. Should we wake him? Kes asked. The Alpha wanted reports from the sensor array an hour ago. You wake him, Raka said. You wake him. Neither moved. Eli's lips curved slightly, though his eyes remained closed. I can hear you both, he said, his voice carrying that peculiar human warmth that always caught Raka off guard. You're about as stealthy as a pair of cargo haulers. Raka's ears flattened in embarrassment. Kes took a step back, ready to bolt. It's all right, Eli said, opening his eyes. They were brown, those eyes, a color that reminded Raka of the nutrient paste they fed the ship's plants. Unremarkable, perhaps, but steady. Always steady. What do you need? The Alpha wants the sensor reports, Raka said, recovering her composure. But you were resting. Meditating, Eli corrected gently. It's different. How? The question escaped before Raka could stop it. Eli considered her with that patient expression humans often wore when explaining their bizarre customs. Come here, he said, patting the floor beside him. Both of you. The cubs exchanged glances. Approaching an elder, any elder so casually went against every instinct their pack had bred into them. But Eli wasn't Venatri. His rules were different, softer somehow, yet no less absolute. They sat, awkward and uncertain. What do you feel right now? Eli asked. Confused, Kes said immediately. Nervous, Raka admitted. Why? Raka's tail swished. Because we should be working. Because stillness is weakness. Because... She stopped, unsure how to articulate the deep instinctual anxiety that came from simply sitting. Because your people survived by never stopping, Eli finished. By hunting, fighting, moving. Always moving. Yes, Raka said, relieved he understood. So why do you stop? Eli smiled, that small human smile. Because my people survived by learning when to stop. We're endurance hunters, you know. Back on Earth, before the ships and the stations, we'd chase prey for days. Not faster, not stronger, just more stubborn. We'd run them until they collapsed from exhaustion. That's terrifying, Kes said. It is, Eli agreed cheerfully. But here's the thing. We learned that if you never rest, even a human burns out. So we developed ways to rest while staying alert, to quiet the mind while sharpening it. Meditation, reflection, prayer for some. But you look so peaceful, Raka said, finally voicing the observation that had haunted her. When you rest like that, you don't look afraid. You look content, like you've already won. Eli's expression grew distant, contemplative. Maybe that's because we have. Not every battle, not every war, but the one that matters most. The battle with ourselves. I don't understand, Raka said. Your people fight the galaxy, Eli said. Mine learned to fight our own nature first. The fear, the anger, the restlessness. We're predators, same as you. But we found that the most dangerous enemy isn't out there in the dark. It's in here. He tapped his chest. The part that panics, that makes mistakes when tired or afraid. So you... Surrender? Kes asked, the word tasting like defeat in her mouth. No, Eli said firmly. We master it. When I meditate, I'm not escaping the fight. I'm preparing for it. Every breath centers me. Every moment of stillness sharpens me. When the alarms sound, when the hull breaches, when everything goes to hell, and it will, I'll be ready because I took the time to be still. Raka looked at him with new eyes. She'd thought the humans were reckless, foolishly brave. But perhaps it was the opposite. Perhaps their courage came from this, from knowing themselves so completely that fear became just another variable to account for. Teach us, she said suddenly. Eli raised an eyebrow. Teach you? To be still. To be peaceful, to master ourselves. Kes looked at her littermate like she'd lost her mind, but Raka didn't care. She'd seen humans charge into plasma fire with jokes on their lips. She'd watched them solve impossible problems while the Venatri crew panicked, and always that same peaceful certainty underneath. Eli studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Close your eyes, he said, and breathe. Just breathe. As Raka let her eyes drift shut, she felt the ship's thrum, heard Kes's nervous breathing beside her, sensed Eli's calm presence like an anchor in the chaos of space. And for the first time in her young life, she understood this wasn't surrender, this was preparation, this was the human way.